Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special opportunity for this video interview series at Shogunet Gaming News. We have been partnered up with the Casino Esports Conference, which has been running for 7 years in Las Vegas. And now it has recently announced a brand new summit for Atlantic City this time, in partnership with the Esports Innovation Center of the Stockton University. So today we're joined by the executive director of this center, Andrew Weilgus. So welcome, Andrew, and thank you very much for joining us today at Shogunet Gaming News.
Thank you, Juan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Well, I was hoping you can maybe first give us a brief outline of what this IEC Center is about and how was it born. And why, and also why you have decided now to partner up with the CEC of the Ari and Ben Fox brothers.
Sure, of course. Let me start with giving the history of the Esports Innovation Center at Stockton University. So we are a nonprofit that was created by the state of New Jersey in partnership with Stockton University, and the focus of the center is really one, to focus on workforce development within the higher education system in the state of New Jersey, to create an ecosystem and environment where our students who have this tremendous passion for esports get matched with the proper skill set so that high-paying tech jobs specifically can be the end result of their labors in their higher education program. So, working with Stockton University, but also other schools like Rutgers, and building programs that are esports specific that harness computer science, hospitality and tourism, and School of Business. That's one focus. Second, we are privileged to be in a city that has 9 operating casinos and a beautiful landscape in terms of the beach and the boardwalk. And really the EIC's positioning at Stockton in Atlantic City is to help forge a strategy for these operating casinos to take advantage of the esports industry. So from an event and tourism standpoint, we want to make Atlantic City a stop on the esports map. And to do that, we need to build the infrastructure out properly on all fronts. That is working in partnership with the casinos, with the university, with the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, with Continent 8, who has high-speed servers that are positioned in Atlantic City, that could help with this infrastructure build. And that's going to be another focus. And then third, we're really here to be a community resource, not only for the higher education institutions, but also K through 12 and up of groups that are looking to build an esports program and need knowledge and resources as to how to do that. So we are going to engage in every educational program you can think of across the board, from iRacing to coding instructions and modding instructions and things along those lines. And we also want to be a business-to-business hub for the esports industry to engage with the state of New Jersey and these various stakeholders. And that's what really leads us to the CEC event. So the Casino Esports Conference is something that really does bring in business-to-business focus on how the casino industry can better take advantage of this new growing and immersive experience, which, again, as you mentioned, appeals to younger gamers. And younger gamers are a huge demographic shift from who is currently in the casino. I believe the statistics are 80% of casino revenue is generated through on site is generated through slot machines. 80% of slot players are over 65 years old. So what we're looking to do is to be a bridge to explain different technologies that are monetizing esports in a casino environment. So it's not the typical thing of saying, hey, we're just trying to bring younger people into the casino so that they don't gamble here and leave. We're trying to create technologies and work with the regulators that are involved in that to put esports in a casino environment and give users a chance to compete in a way that would never be accessible to them in their home environment, right? At their house, even online, even competing against somebody. And that means much larger, more sophisticated setups, bigger tournaments, structured prizes, and like that. But really, esports can work very similarly to poker in that I can play you for money and the casino wins no matter what because they're facilitating the contest, right? So, I may play you in, let's say, Mario Kart, and whoever finishes higher wins $9, and I bet 5 and you bet 5. And if I win, I get 9, the casino gets 1, That's a time-tested model. So being able to regulate and introduce those types of technologies into a casino environment is something we're hoping to facilitate. So those are sort of the 3 different avenues. We're looking at innovation on the side of bringing esports into this new world, but also what's coming next. What are the games of the future? How can we train young computer science students to learn how to develop these coding skills and these development skills and give them access to the technology to do it, and the coursework and required. When a game studio spends money on a title, it could be 50 million to 150 million of investment, right? So I, as a personal human being, cannot do that, but I should be able to go to a program at a state university and gain the skills necessary to contribute to that team once I graduate and have acquired those skills. So I'm not interested in training the next generation of esports players to be great players at their particular esport, but I am interested in training the next generation of coders, modders, marketing executives, all the different people that are associated with those esports, because that is a very, very large market and ecosystem compared to the very slim market of professional gaming. So the analogy I always give is if a university creates a sports marketing program, they're not doing it to train the next Philadelphia Eagles player. They're doing it to train the staff of the Philadelphia Eagles or the staff of the NFL or the staff of the sponsors that support the Eagles. So it's very important people understand that the investments the state are making are there to help build an ecosystem which ultimately can lead to high-paying, high-tech jobs coming to South Jersey and companies moving these jobs here through a series of incentives and the reasons to work directly with those casinos. If there's synergies where that's your target market and you're developing product directly for them, we're going to help make that happen. And we're going to be a testing ground and a place for those companies to come in, introduce that technology in a safe space, and then get it regulated and get it advanced into the casino market.
Well, that sounds really, really exciting. There are plenty of opportunities for the casino industry there. Maybe, Stockton University is funded by the New Jersey state, and so it would be nice to know what kind of resources or technological resources and equipment, maybe a streaming booth that you can leverage for educating students. And what can the CEC EIC North Summit attendees expect to see? Maybe a sample of this kind of new approach to educating and training on these new technologies.
Sure. So, the event is in October, and since we haven't even gotten into the physical space yet, it's really hard for me to know exactly how much will be built out by the time CEC opens up. But ultimately, we want to be a feature space for technology, as you said. The Blackfire Innovation Center at UNLV in Nevada is a good example of an organization that is state-created, partnered with a state university, but is a separate entity, creating innovation technologies in iGaming, putting technologies on display, and giving a venue for those companies to come together and discuss and to promote new technology. So we very much will have that type of thing on display in EIC, but we also plan on building some hands-on setups that will allow students from around the state to come in and get real hands-on experience. We plan on having a full broadcast studio in 4K. So, for example, if a company came in and was running a tournament in Atlantic City and wanted to bring announcers and do, pre-game, post-game, and interviews, etc., we'll have the capabilities to host that type of thing. We'll have a mini arena. It's going to be very small, but it'll allow for a 6v6 setup and, intimate, high definition cameras everywhere. So even though it won't be, an arena, it'll be a studio arena, right? So we can broadcast it in that capacity. And then we'll have a lot of different functional space. In addition to office space, we'll have some retail space where we hope to put products on display from our partners and members that are, with the EIC. So you'll be able to see some of the latest and greatest on display, whether it's AR technology, VR technology, what's coming next. And then it very much will be a functional event center. We plan on having a lot of educational events, business to business events, just ways to bring people from the esports community into the space, show stuff off, and then bring our members into the space to show stuff off as well. And once you have that active base of casino executives that are in the area, that are steps away from the center, that can come down for a conference, take a look at what you have, you're a company that wants that attention. This is where you want to be. Sure.
Yeah, I bet they will. And well, we have been in a conversation with Jan Jones Blackhurst this past week. She's currently been appointed at the recently been appointed at the Esports Entertainment Group. And I mentioned this because she represented the first legal operator for esports betting in New Jersey this year. And it also partnered up with Hard Rock Atlantic City for the first skill-based wager event in the US, also this year in March, I believe. Yep. With very positive results. So my question is, what do you think that is missing? She said, well, Jan Jones said that esports will be one of the future verticals, with the most relevant verticals for the casino industry as well in the future, in her view. And she believes, of course, that she is one of the first that is being successful in distributing this kind of product also for casino customers. So what do you think that is missing in the esports betting industry and in the casino industry to finally move forward and develop I don't know, I wouldn't call it definitive model, but to a business model to work,
put these pieces together and take advantage. Yeah, I understand completely what you're saying. I think the answer to that question, from everything I can assess, is strictly infrastructure. There is no infrastructure in place in the casino market right now to facilitate what we are discussing. There is not a setup where I can go and choose any game from a screen and play you head to head for $10 and feed money in, and I play you and you play me, and the casino wins no matter what. I've seen the beta versions of systems that can facilitate stuff like this, specifically from EEG, specifically on display, by the way, at that Madden event in March you were talking about. Their product LandDuel was what they were putting out there. And that is a head-to-head skill-based wagering platform that allows a system to measure my skill and match me up against somebody of, generally speaking, equal skill, so that you're not playing a ringer, so to speak, in whatever esport you're wagering on. That technology is in beta form. It's never been tested. It's never been introduced into a market. It hasn't been regulated. It hasn't been, passed by gaming enforcement to be allowed to be put into a casino. And there's no physical structure that is the right combination of that software combined with a physical structure that I could walk into that's safe in a casino environment. So like those things coming together, I think is what the plan is. And for example, I found a company called GamerPod. There's others that do this, but GamerPod, which is a local New Jersey based company, has these beautiful 4x4 micro studios that are soundproof, all made of glass, that house systems in the back. And it's perfect for a casino environment where I could swipe my card, it lets me in, and it's basically a whole private little studio with cameras and everything else I could stream. But also I could open up a menu and play head to head for money, feed money right into a little, thing that takes a $10 bill and gives me credit, or I could add it to my card through my app, and boom, you combine that technology with LandDuel, and now you have something that actually would thrive in the casino environment and could be put in non-premium space. This is another thing. People in the esports industry have to understand the casino industry, and people in the casino industry have to understand who the esports target market is. And right now they don't. People in the esports industry say to the casino executives, just give us space and we'll move your old stuff out and we'll put my stuff in. And then they look at what that does to the revenue of that casino. And every one of those slot machines is making them X number of dollars an hour. And you've just proposed to them that they take that out so that they could put in something that might make 1/40th of that money, right? They will not do that. They will lose their job if they do that. And esports people are like, well, you're not advancing in the future. No, that's not the right attitude. What you have to do is say, okay, how can we take non-premium casino space that's spread out on the floor, that's not directly in the path or that competes with these slot machines or poker tables or whatever they already have set up? How can we establish non-premium esports space that will monetize and will show them the way forward? As I mentioned, this poker model is one way that I think is very positive, where people can get an incredible experience not available to them at home, competition that's only available to them at the casino itself. So you're playing in, closed network LAN, so there's no latency issues. You're not dealing with crappy internet, all of those different functions, and make that worthwhile. And I think there is a middle ground that the casinos have to move to, and that the esports industry has to move to, and that regulators have to keep up with, right? It's great for technology to come to market, but if it spends a year and it costs $1 million to get regulated, that's a major barrier, right? So the Esports Entertainment Group has been the guinea pig and spent a lot of money to try to become the first to do something in a state where there's really no market for it yet. So they will, hopefully be rewarded by being first to market. But I think it's up to all parties involved to recognize that this is not we can just say we're going to be a great esports environment and be that. There's a lot of infrastructure build that needs to happen, and a lot of thoughtful planning that needs to happen in terms of how casinos will interact with esports and how esports groups can interact with casinos. And I think on the casino side, they need to understand their market. They need to understand the fierce loyalty of the esports player, the fact that person does not care about your traditional gambling channels. And if you want to win them over into sports betting or other verticals, you have to know who that audience is, and you have to know how to speak to that audience and give them what they're looking for. And I'm a big advocate of experience-based gaming. I firmly believe that if you're a young person and you're going to go lose money at the casino, which, let's be honest, people don't go to win money at the casino. They know they're going to lose. You go in knowing there's a good chance I'm not going to win. So when I do that, I want to be entertained. I want to make sure that I had as much fun as humanly possible. And if you're going to tap right into my passion of fun, whether for me it's FIFA, Madden, something that I like from a sports vertical, esports vertical, or if it's League of Legends or Valorant or Rocket League, and you give that person an experience at the casino, even if they lose, that they can't get anywhere else, you've got something. They will come back and they will want that again. So that's that combined with esports events and those things all fall into place together. You want to attract nice tournaments and events that come into the space, but a permanent infrastructure in place is really the way that I think they will come together.
Very clear. At Chogonet, we are covering the Atlantic City is making the headlines for another reason these days, because there's a strike being planned for the 4th of July weekend or before that. If
great timing.
Yeah, sure. So, the negotiations are expected to maybe to avert the strike, and the city council made a recommendation in that sense. But I was thinking about this because maybe when can we expect to see some of the concepts or the resources that we will see in October? How long do you think this could be actually translated into new solutions for this landscape for the Atlantic City casinos?
Sure. So, with regard to the potential labor strike, just note that we have nothing to do with anything, and we support everybody just coming together and coming up with a solution that makes the most sense. So I can't stress that enough. We just want what's good for Atlantic City. I firmly believe they will figure it out, because everybody has a lot to lose, but very little to to focus on any negative stuff. So what I would say is the timeline for us is probably over the course of the next couple months, you'll start to see what the plans are for the physical space, potential renderings and that type of thing. We're deep into that process now of identifying what we're putting where and who it's coming from. But, you know, it's going to be a space that is constantly evolving, and it's constantly having new technology being brought in and old technology being taken out. So, you know, for us, the challenge is working with these partners and putting into place the next generation of what's coming, not what people can find at Best Buy, right? Mm-hmm. So we hope to be a place that stays ahead of the curve, where you could see things that are not available market wide, but you can get some perspective on, you know, what they are and what's coming. So I would say stay tuned. We do hope to have a significant portion of the center finished and open by the time the CEC starts, but unfortunately we're at the mercy of a lot of logistic delays and supply chain delays as well. So you know, some of the plans that we have will just have to come together over time. But you know, by 2023 we should be cooking with gas and having programs being run out of the EIC on a weekly basis. We're in talks with several groups to do a combination of educational programs and community programs. We're working with the Boys and Girls Club of Atlantic City. We're going to do an after-school esports program with them. Obviously, we'll be working with Stockton and their incredible esports team. I'm not sure if you know this, but Stockton Esports finished second in the world in Rocket League in the collegiate level. So that just in the tournament that just happened. And they, you know, there's 700 kids that are part of that program. They're competing in multiple games, over 5 games. And it's really a great example of something that went from 0 to 100 in a matter of years. I mean, there was no Stockton esports program 5 years ago, and then Scott Houston and Demetrius got involved, and boom, it's really a program that's building a great reputation.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. Maybe one final line for the maybe the courses or the speakers that we can expect to see in October that you can anticipate for us today. I know there will be more details as we can come closer to the date.
Yeah, absolutely. So we plan on having a lot of people from the casino and state that are focused on building this esports ecosystem. So we expect to have speakers from the Economic Development Authority from the state of New Jersey who have really championed the center and what we're building here. We expect to have folks from Stockton University. We expect to have folks from the Atlantic City Casino hierarchy. You know, Tropicana, Caesars, and Harrah's are all owned by Caesars Entertainment. So that's 3 of the 9 casinos. Bally's is getting very interested. And then you also have hotels that are not casinos that are really making inroads, like Showboat. Showboat opened up the Lucky Snake Arcade, which is the largest arcade on the East Coast. They have indoor go-kart racing, and they just broke ground on $100 million indoor-outdoor season-long water park. So those types of things are really going to be great for building this environment, and they will be hosting GameCon December 9th at the Showboat. So you know, that is a great spot to check it out. You're right in the heart of the action. You're connected to Bally's. You know, you're a couple blocks from Hard Rock, and Showboat itself has really done an amazing job of being a great you know, as a kid, I grew up watching Price is Right, the game show, right? Yeah. They have all of the life-size stuff from the Price is Right. Spin the wheel, Plinko, the whole, it's the greatest thing in the world for me. I was like, I can play the Price is Right. It's fantastic. And you can play Quizzo Trivia there every Sunday night at 6 p.m. So there's a shameless plug.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Joanette, Andrew. And of course, we'll be in touch. Looking forward to October.
Absolutely. Thank you, Juan. Have a great day.
Have a nice day. Yeah. Bye.